Okay. Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We are starting today Maseches Kiddushin, Daf Lamed Amud Beis. Yeah, today's Amud is Lamed Amud Beis. We're already in the middle of the page, actually towards the second half, beyond the second half. Lasio Isha. We're learning now about the obligations of a father towards his son. A father must teach his son a Torah. That is not before he has to make sure that the son has bris milah, and he has to make sure that it's pidyon aben. When necessary, he has to do pidyon aben. Yeah, when the baby is a month. Okay. Yes. Sorry, there was a Zoom glitch again. Okay. Lasia isha minolan. One of the obligations of a father towards his son is to make sure that he gets married. Lasia isha. Make sure your son gets married and continues the legacy and mekayim pruvu. I wanted to say something about pruvu now that we have the stage over here, and that is we know that in Mitzrayim the miyaldois, and the women in general, women were moist nefesh to have children. They had six in one go. It was very difficult. Hakadosh Baruch Hu took care of it at the end of the day, but they didn't know they were moist nefesh. And it says in this, and then his chus noshim tzidkonios. It says in the Gemara that made sure that babies are being born. There's the baby boom. Then we're zoiche to really have the geula, the redemption was the because of the righteous women. It says the same thing is about Mashiach coming. Mashiach will come because of the people who bring a lot of children to the world. And the Zohar says that people who do not bring children, not Mekayim Pru'urvu, the couple gets married and they don't even think of having children till much later, maybe. So, and they have the ability. That's a very bad thing. It's a terrible thing because you're mevatel, you are not right fulfilling the mitzvah of Pru'urvu, of having one son and one daughter, which at least you should try to have one son, one daughter. Then become the mitzvah of Pru'urvu, but people don't do that. That's bad news, and it's me'akev. It delays Mashiach from coming. That's what the Zohar says. Having said that, let's continue. So now let's continue. La sioi isha minolan. How do you know that the father has a chiyuv to marry off his son? Dichtiv. It says in the Novi, who noshim. Yeah, take yourself women, get married, get yourself women, marry women. And you should have boys and girls. You should have sons and daughters, right? Yeah, that's have sons and daughters. That's a pasuk um, in Yeshayahu. In Yeshayahu, v'kchu lebnechem noshim, and take women for your sons. What? It's in Yirmiyahu. Yeah, sorry. V'kchu lebnechem noshim, and take women for your sons. V'ezbnosechem tnu la'noshim, and give your daughters to men. Okay. So in other words, it says, make sure that Yirmiyahu Novi, thank you for the correction. Yirmiyahu wants to make sure that that people have children and people have grandchildren. So tell your son to take a wife. Correct the Gemara. The Gemara now is asking a question. His son, I understand. His son, the son, you can make sure that the son gets married. Why? Because the son is the one who's mechaze achar isha. We saw in Daf Beis Amud Beis, and Rashi brings it down in Ksubas. The man, the boy, he's the one, the bocher, he's the one who's active in the marriage and active in searching for a wife. That's what it's supposed to be. Darko shalish lechazer. A man is searching for his wife, just like Odom Arishon wanted to search, so to speak, for his body part, which was his tzela, his rib, possibly. Elabito ibiyodahi. How can the Novi tell me that I have to make sure my daughter gets married? I can't push my daughter to get married because she's a passive one. I can't tell her, you go and seek a boy. It's not sanu. It's not the right way for the girl to start, looking for boys, and she should start and suggest, propose that they should marry her. Answers the Gemara, Hachiko. This is what it says. This is what the Novi told them. Nitan lamidi, give her something. Velivshe venichse, you should clothe her and cover her, which means make her look good, make her look pretty. Give her also clothes, give her money that people should be attractive for them to get married. Like today, half an apartment, a whole apartment. Make it tempting for them to marry her. Some people, so to speak, jump on her. Doesn't mean to jump on her physically, obviously. So people should be interested in her. People should see, oh, here's a catch. She's a good-looking girl, and she comes with some money. So invest in your daughter. You have a daughter in Shidduchim. You have to invest so that she gets a good match, a good shidduch. That's what the Novi is telling us. The kafzola in she. Okay, so that's the chiyuv of man is towards his son and towards his daughter as well. Okay, as much as you can. Now, what does mean as much as you can? The Gemara actually in Ksubas Nafnun Beis says over there, it says that you have to give her up to a tenth of your money. Up to a tenth of all your assets. The Gemara says that. I'm not saying this is not halacha shiur, but the Gemara does say ad kad isu nechsiyoso. Yeah, you have 100,000 shekels, so 10,000 shekels you should invest, new clothes, makeup, eyebrows, everything that they do, nails, yeah, all the girly things, and make sure she has some extra. I mean, 10,000 doesn't go fast. In Ksubas it says, it sounds like both clothes in the dunya, that's what I understand. Tach nearly. Maybe altogether, but that should be the investment. The other 9 parts go to the other 9 daughters. Hopefully, it'll make more money. So he said every time a 10,000 per each. Lalamdoi umnus. Hashem takes care of these things. Lalamdoi umnus. So now, father has to teach his son a profession. Yes, teach his son to be whatever, blacksmith, silversmith, whatever. I don't know, interior designer. Teach your son to do something with his life. Minolan. How do you know? How do you know that you have to teach your son umnus? Amar Chizkiya, the Omar Krom, the pasuk says, "Rechaim im isha asher ohavta." You should see life with the woman who you love. What does it mean? So now I'll just tell you before we start. It's mashma from Rashi and the Marashah. Chaim, it means live with your wife, and also Chaim means profession. You should have a good profession. Chaim is life. Also in English, livelihood. What brings you life? 2 things. Well, what brings you livelihood, as they say, parnosa? You being, I don't know, financial advisor, you being a taxi driver, you being, I don't know what, street cleaner, you being a English teacher, whatever you are, yeah? Whatever is, that's the Chaim with your wife. Now, the other pshat of Chaim is what really brings you Chaim, Torah. So both work and Torah are compared to a wife, or juxtaposed to marriage. Oh, what does it mean? Im isha mamishi. If we talk about isha mamish, in other words, if isha over here means isha as it is, in other words, a woman, yeah. Keshem shechayv lasiyo isha kachayv lelamdoi umnus. Oh, in other words, just like you have to, we compare the isha with the umnus. Just like you have to make sure he gets married, you have to know that he'll have some kind of job to work after he gets married so he can support his family. So yeah, there is a chiyuv to teach him some kind of trade, some kind of umnus, and therefore Chaim and Isha are together. You want him to get married, make sure beforehand that he has Chaim. The Rambam says people who plan on going to work, so let them start learning the profession before they get married and have something in their hands. Im Toirahi. But if the Isha is the Torah, now this is a upshot, not like before. Im Toirahi, yeah, in other words, Chaim may be livelihood still, and an Isha doesn't mean your wife, it means your Torah. You should work and see life, you should love the Torah so much like your wife. In other words, Isha is an allegory for what? For Torah. Im Toirahi, if the pasuk talks about livelihood and a woman, i.e. Torah, livelihood and Torah are juxtaposed here together, just like you have to teach him Torah, you have to teach him umnus. What does it mean to teach him umnus? So again, it says, I saw in the Perushim, that you have to make sure that he has a way to support himself when he goes and he sits and learns. Yeah, either he works part-time a little bit, or his wife has a job, or he has some kind of financial plan, whatever the plan may be. Make sure that your son has some kind of, plan of how he's going to support himself. Maybe goes to a very good kollel. Some kollel, I'm not joking now. Some kollel pay good money, all kinds of programs, whatever it may be. But he has some kind of way to support himself while he's learning, and that is a lot of Torah jobs. People work in all kinds of Torah-oriented jobs. What? What? No, but he says Kishem Shchadam Torah Kacham Dumnus. So too, no, we're talking. No. It says if he has no umnus whatsoever, he's going to come as the next opinion. He's going to be melastim. No, we're talking about somebody who's working, who's learning, and he should have some kind of work source, of parnasa source. Now, the yesh oimrim af lashitoi banohor. Some say also too you should learn to lashito banohor means swimming, or lashito means to know how to row the boat, row the boat gently down the stream. My timer, why do you have to teach your son how to row the boat or how to swim? Chiyusehu, it's life. In other words, it's safety. Sometimes, yeah, in other words, you don't need the source for that. It's simple. People have to live, v'chai pikuach nefesh. Yeah, in a society where people go a lot by boats, they have to know how to swim in case the boat sinks, and you need to know how to swim for your life, sink or swim. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, we are still quoting the Braisa which we saw in the previous daf. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Kol she'ena melamdo umnus, melamdo listus." Second wide line. Rabbi Yehuda seems to add something on Tanakama, and he says, whoever doesn't teach his son umnus, it's as if he teaches him to be a robber. It's as if you taught him to be a highwayman. Frag the Gemara, listus al kadaitach. Really? Just because I don't teach my son any umnus, I like playing ball with my son and play cards with my son, let's say, I don't teach him and I don't make sure he goes to learn any kind of profession. You think that's called listus? I taught him to be a listim. Elakilu melamdu listus. It's as if you taught him to be a ganav, because if he has no source of income whatsoever, neither him nor his wife has no income whatsoever. He doesn't go to koilel even to get money there. Doesn't become a chvesa rebbe. Doesn't become a mashgiach. No parnosa whatsoever. Then it's as if you taught him listus, because at the end of the day, he'll end up, stealing or doing all kinds of shtick to get money. My beinayu. The question is, what's the difference between Tanakama and Rabbi Yehuda? Tanakama already told us that the father has to teach his son umnus. Very nice. What is Rabbi Yehuda exactly adding by this dramatic statement? Rabbi Yehuda is saying, if you don't teach your son a trade, you don't teach him a profession, then it's as if you taught him to be a robber. What's the difference between Tanakama and Rabbi Yehuda, right? Rabbi Yehuda is like another opinion. Rabbi Yehuda Oimer is if Rabbi Yehuda argues on Tanakama. Rabbi Yehuda speaks so strongly as if he's coming to argue and make a much stronger point. Practically, what's the difference? Is Tam giving us Musar? Answers the Gemara, Ika benayu de agmere iska. Oh, agmer iska, he taught him business. In other words, he did not teach him a profession. He didn't teach him how to be a doctor, a lawyer, a financial advisor, a driver. And Lamai he teaches him how to be a good soicher, how to be a good, tradesman, how to be a merchant. So what's the difference? According to Tanakama, that's good enough. Tanakama is not so hot and people always working. So Tanakama says, listen, as long as he has something in his hands, he has no PhD, no MA, no BA, not even high school diploma. He knows how to trade. I taught him how to trade. He trades marbles in school, and now he knows that he'll know how to trade, chicken. So that's good enough. But Shenkin Rabbi Yehuda says, no, if you don't teach him umnus, if you don't teach him mamish a profession, he may yet still end up being a robber. Why? Because by business, when you don't have a trade, trade is not the word, you don't have a profession, then at the end of the day, it's all about trade. Sometimes you're not going to have that trade. He knows how to trade in chicken. What happens with the shortage of chicken? Could be for a very long time. The shortage or jewelry. The guy thinks, oh, my son is no professional whatsoever, but he knows how to trade jewelry. In times of financial low, right? People don't buy jewelry, right? The jewelry branch suffers a lot when people are down and out. So then there are no jewelry. It's going to start stealing, maybe white collar stealing, but stealing. And therefore, says Rabbi Yehuda, it's not enough to teach him just to trade a certain kind of schoiro of merchandise. You actually have to teach him mamish a profession, how to be a blacksmith, a cobbler, something specific, and there you would always have parnosa, hopefully. Siyata dishmaya. Kol mitzvah sa'ava laben. Kol mitzvah sa'ava laben. That is the second part of the Mishnah. The mitzvahs of the father over the son, both men and women are mechuyev. What does that mean? Both men and women are mechuyev, are obligated or committed to that kind of mitzvah. Frekt the Gemara. My kol mitzvah sa'ava laben. What does it mean? The mitzvahs of the father over the son. If you want to tell me, kol mitzvahs the mechayev abba lemei bad librei. If you talk about the mitzvahs that the father has to do towards his son, all the obligations such as teaching Torah, bris milah, pidyon ben, umnus, wife, then noshim chayovos. Are you serious when you suggest that women are mechuyev in that? Do mothers have a chiyuv to do bris milah, pidyon ben, teaching Torah, chinuch? That's not true. Vatanya, ha'av chai bivno. You saw in the brayso, ha'av chai bivno lemuloi v'lifdoisoi v'chule v'chule. The father has to make sure the son gets bris milah and pidyon. Oviv in imoiloi. Only the father, yes, imoiloi. The mother is not mechuyev. Therefore, let's rule that out. Clearly, the Mishnah here did not mean the mitzvah of the parent over the child, because that's for fathers only and not for mothers. The mother is not even mechuyev in the chinuch of the child. I'm going to say that again. Omer of Yehuda must be the pshat is, as we expected, the opposite. Hachika Omar. This is what it says. Kol mitzvah sa'av hamuteles ala ben lasos la'oviv. The mitzvah of the father means the mitzvah of a son towards his father. Yeah, the mitzvah that the son has to do for his father, which is what? Kibud avaim, moira avaim, as we're going to see. Echad anoshim, echad noshim, chayovin. Both men and women are usually, and I repeat, usually they are equally mechuyev in kibud avaim. In other words, that's not a gender-related mitzvah. Both men and women are mechuyev to honor thy father and thy mother, as Hashem said in Sinai. Basically, there are two mitzvahs. Before we continue now into the sugya of kibud avaim, we're going to have now the next topic, which we're going to see for at least 2 days, is kibud avaim. And before we start that, let me give you a small and very, very important introduction. There are two completely separate mitzvahs regarding what we call kibud avaim. Really, what we call kibud avaim is only halfway true, which means one time HaKadosh Baruch Hu said in our Sinai, kabed es avicha v'esimecha. Yeah, kabed es avicha v'esimecha, honor your father and your mother. That's the 5th commandment, right? I think so. Yeah, on the right-hand side in the bottom. Very nice. Another time in Parshas Kedoshim, at the beginning of Parshas Kedoshim, it says, Ish imoy v'oviv tirou. Yeah, a man, each man, imoy v'oviv tirou. Your mother and your father, you should be yor. You should have awe, A-W-E. You'll be at the state of awe, yeah, like, kind of, la fear from your father and from your mother and your father. Then the mother goes first in the posuk. And these are two separate mitzvahs. And although we're going to see it later, I'm going to tell you now. My father always hammered it into me, so I remember it, yeah. The kibud of ein is machil or mashke, machnis moitzi, malbish mechase. These are giving the parents the physical comforts that they deserve. Make sure he has what to eat and drink. Many times, according to many, on your expense. As an adult, your parents need money. It's a huge, huge mitzvah of kibud avaim, not just tzedakah to support them, or even if it's their money to serve your father, give him a drink, give him to eat is a big thing. Make sure put on his jacket if he wants to. Make the bed for him, cover him. And people like in old age, you cover your mother or your father with a blanket. You wash them would also be probably part of the thing. Yeah. That's kibud. That's covered. That's number one. A completely separate mitzvah is yira. Yira means awe, which means, yeah, in other words, don't sit in a seat. Don't stand where he stands with the choshev people as if you're as important as him, like butting in. Don't interfere. Don't, cut into a sentence. I mean, it's not nice in general, but definitely not with the parent. And lo yisto is dvarim. That's a difficult one. You should never contradict what he says. If you know the father is wrong, there is what? Respect. You can call that respect if you want, but respect is also covered. I hear what you're saying. Right, that's honor, that's respect. Okay, it's called yiro. Yiro is awe. One second. So now that's a whole different a line of mitzvahs that have to do with showing respect, showing awe, and feeling my father's in a different place, different opinion. Don't contradict what he says. V'chule, v'chule. You're not even allowed to say that he's right. That's harder. Yeah, the father says so and so, and you say, yeah, you're right. In other words, like you're giving him the stempel, like you are the Rav HaMachshir, you're the Mashgiach saying that he's right. So v'chule, v'chule. These are the two branches that are dead different and separate regarding kibud aveim. There's kibud and there's moira, two different things. No technical, unless it's yeah. And she's obligated to relay. She's not. No. So who based in, not true. If a man dies, if a man loleinu in Gaza, if somebody dies, and then the baby has to have bris milah, the one who are mechuyev are the beth din. In other words, the community, the rabbi is mechuyev, not the woman. What Tzipora did, I saw today a very nice pamphlet which I get every Shabbos by a very dear Jew who works in real estate, Ram, whatever. I don't know if he wants to say his name, Rami, and he is a very very nice guy. And he writes his own very very nice pamphlet for Shabbos, and he wrote there that Tzipora, quoting some of the Tzipora, did bris milah to the baby because she was as good as Beis Din. There was no Beis Din around, so she took responsibility. Yeah, obviously, but she be'etzim as a person is no more responsibility than other people as Beis Din. Right? Yeah. Tanina lo, the tono abonon. Yeah, we see the following brisa. The tono abonon. Ish, it says ish imoy v'aviv tiro. A man, yeah, should fear his mother and his father. And le'ela ish. The pasuk tells me when it talks about yira, what's yira? Fear, awe, respect. It says reverence. Yeah, it says a man should respect them. Isha minayin. How do you know a woman's mechuyev? Maybe a woman is no obligation towards her father and mother. Maybe not. Why? I don't know why. Maybe not. It says ish, a man. Oh, it says at the end of the pasuk tirou in plural. You people, you plural, both of you should tirou, not tira. Both of you should have yira. So you have two people. Who are the two people? Men and women, regardless of your gender. You have to have yira. Imken, frag the Gemara, mata l'mud ish. So why does the Torah write ish, which does indicate it's a male-only mitzvah? It's as if the pasuk is contradicting itself. On one end, it says a man should respect the mother and father, and then it says both. So is it a man or both? Answers the Gemara, ish sipik biodolasois, isha en sipik biodolasois mipnei shershus acher molea, which means a man, sipik means he technically has the ability to actually be mechaber his parents. Why? Because technically speaking, a man is not mechuyev to feed his wife. He's supposed to support her and love her even more than himself, but in the technical side, the man is not supposed to be the one who's cooking for his wife and washing the dishes for his wife and doing things for his wife. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And therefore, he has time for his parents. When he's married, the married man should make more time for his parents, as opposed to the woman which has no sipik klasos. A woman technically has no sipuk to do. It doesn't have the ability to do so much for her parents. She has the authority of other people over her, which is the husband. In other words, a married woman should not basically neglect her family, the obligations she has towards her husband and children as a wife and as a woman, as a mother. And she can't say, I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning, I'm not doing anything for my family because I'm running to my parents. That is what the Torah is saying by the word ish. In other words, when she's married, as long as she's married, her first obligation is towards her family, and only afterwards towards her parents. That's what it says. Yeah, that's what it says, ish and not an isha. But if she's not married, let's say before she's married, from the age of 12 till the age of she got married at, let's say, 20, she has a chiyuv as much as the brother does, so too she has a chiyuv towards her parents. Now, by the way, having said that, I want to tell you something interesting, which I saw some time ago. I don't remember which one of the Noise Kelim, one of the Meforshim of Shulchan Aruch says that it's good for the husband to allow his wife to go to her parents. A husband can say, no, I want you home all the time. I want you to come and cook and clean and be nice and give attention to the kids and hardly ever go to your parents. So it says a good husband should be flexible and allow his wife, yes, to respect and help her parents. Now, Omar Vidi Baravin, Omar Rav, here comes the punchline. Nisgarsha shneim shovim. Let's say the woman got divorced, then both of them, both men and women, are equal. Once the woman is divorced, therefore she has no obligation towards her ex-husband anymore, and therefore she's equally mechuyev to respect and help her parents as much as her brothers. What's the chiddush? What's the chiddush? Boch shekivanti. So in the Ritva. Okay, that's what I thought right now. One second. Says the Ritva, one would have thought once the girl got married, yeah, that she's out of their authority of the parents. As she got divorced, she's already a different person. Maybe she's not mechuyev. Because why? Because I would have said once out, then she's out. Yeah, just like we see by Ektana. If you remember, a little girl whose father has koyach to marry her off, once she's nesua, once she's completely married to another person, then she's not under her father's authority, even if she's divorced or widowed. She's out of his realm. Says the Gemara, when it comes to kibbud av v'em, it does apply even after divorce. I was thinking about the children also, but clearly, yeah, obviously she shouldn't neglect her children, cheshbon of the parents, but that's not part of the equation here. We're talking about the husband versus parents, not the children. Tonu abonon. Now it says more about kibbud avim. Let's see more on the subject of kibbud avim. By the way, kibbud avim is even after they die. You know that. Even the parents, after the parents' death, you can't give them to eat or drink, and you can't. But still, what can you do? Do a lot of things for the Ilu Neshama. And when you talk about your parents, not to speak badly, to obviously respect their memory and do whatever you can in their memory as much as you can. And that still applies as long as you are alive, even if they're not alive. That's besides the point. As we know, the famous pasuk, respect your mother, your father, and your mother, honor your father and your mother. V'nemar, and it says, in a different place, it says here, kabed es Hashem mehoinecho, give kavod, give honor to Hashem from your money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are Maseches Kiddushin, Daf Lamed Amud Beis, 6 lines from the bottom of the page. V'nemar kabed es Hashem mehoinecho, gzerashovo, kabed. The same word exactly. Respect your mother and father. Respect Hashem with your money. Ishva kosuv kibud avaim lekvoid hamokoim. The kavod of avaim is compared to the kavod of the mokoim, to the kavod of Hashem. Oh, unbelievable! And there it says too, mehoinecho, from your money, because many times kibud avaim costs money, and we're going to see a machlokas later on. According to some, from your own money you have to feed them. Sometimes the parents don't have, or an old age home, to pay for the old age home, to pay for the cleaner, for the chvesish, for the Filipino. So if you spend money on your parents, it's a big mitzvah. Ne'emar, and it says regarding the moira, the second mitzvah, ish imoy ve'oviv tiro. You shall fear, you should have awe and reverence towards your mother and father. V'ne'emar, es Hashem elokecho tira. Oops, you see, tira. Voisatavoid. Again, the same word yira is obviously, as we all know, used regarding Kodesh Baruch Hu. Yiras Hashem, Yiras Elokim, Es Hashem Lokecha Tira. Yishva Kosev Moiras Avaim Lemoras Amokoim. The Yira of Avaim is compared to the Yira of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Unbelievable. In other words, the Yira of a Kodesh Baruch Hu is a Yira of your parents should be as much as the Yoreh Elokim. Wow. And the covet you have towards your parents should be as much as the Mechaber, the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Very, very high standard, as we're going to see soon, and we're going to see a Marsha. And now we add another lotas. Now, up until now, we spoke about mitzvah saseh. Now, the mitzvah lotas, they talk about extreme cases, and that is nema mekalel ovi ve'imo mois yumos. Oh, wow. The person who curses his father and mother, he shall die. How do you kill the person who cursed his father and mother? And we're talking here not some if you call them you idiot, you pig, that's very, very bad, obviously. That's terrible. But when we talk about klol of ave, means when he wishes them something bad. You should die. I wish you die. I wish you go to Genem. I wish you lose your money. If it's with Shem Hashem, I think then it's mamash chiyuv misa. How do you kill them? The worst form. How is that? With skila. Obviously with all the judicial process, if a person is mekalel his parents, he gets skila. V'ne'emar, and it says ish ki kalel eloikov v'noso cheitoi. It says also a person who curses chas v'sholem shouldn't say, the eloikov noso cheitoi birkas Hashem, he should bear his sin, and also there he gets skila. Yishva kosuv birkas avaim lebirkas amokoim. When you say bracha, we obviously mean the other way around, but we don't dare pronounce it. So we say the bracha in inverted commas you give your parents is the bracha. It's as if you gave a bracha, obviously the other way, to Kodesh Baruch Hu, big time. That's very bad. Aval behakol, when it comes to hitting, let's say somebody hit his parents, and what happened? Blood came out. If he hit his parents to the point of bleeding, maybe even a bruise, it's a shaila. Let's say he made a cut on purpose. We're going to see some halacha here. What's the punishment of this guy? He gets chenek. Chenek is the lowest one of the 4. In other words, klala is way, way worse than hitting. To curse your parents, their name, because when you curse someone, it's much more spiritual. When you hit him, it's very bad, but it's more physical. Tabakah, when it comes to hitting your parents, there's no comparison to Hashem. Why? Vada efshar. You can't compare to HaKadosh Baruch Hu because you can't hit HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Maybe some people would have chas v'shalom liked to koifer him, I don't know what, but that's a different story. There's no such thing as hitting HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, there's no comparison. Now, you should know that people who have to Surgeons are not allowed to perform surgery on their parents, although they mean well, but lechatchila it shouldn't be done because at the end of the day it's a ko. You're not allowed to have blood coming out of your parents. Same thing applies sometimes. Dentists with blood can sometimes come out, sometimes not. But dental treatment. I saw a question this Shabbos about it. Can a woman do her mother's fingernails? Because sometimes blood comes out. I never did that in my life. I don't know. Yeah, but the kids are any chash or blood coming out, it's a shaila. I'm not paskening here, but it goes that far. Now continues the Gemara on the positive side of kibud of and being compared to kibud and kavod to Hashem. V'chen bedin. It makes sense to compare the father and the mother to a Kodesh Baruch Hu for kavod and moira, kibud and moira. Why? Sheshloshtan shutofin boy. As we all know, all three of them are shutfin, and this is the source. This is the source in the Gemara here, and in Nida it says the famous line of the three partners in the person. Tonu abonon shloisha shutofin en ba'odom. There are three partners in the person. For the person, there are three partners. Remember, daf lamed. How much is lamed? 30. And shloisha is what we learn over here. Shloisha shutofin en ba'odom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ve'ovi ve'imoi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts the neshama in a person, obviously. The father is in charge. What comes from the sperm from the father, says the Gemara in Nida. I think in Nida. Yeah, it does say it in Nida. That's the bones. The bones are from the father, and the blood system from the mother, right? From the redness of the mother, like the blood that she doesn't have. Yeah. So therefore, the Kodesh Baruch Hu, the mother and the father, all partners. Therefore, it makes sense. You should treat all three partners equally. Na bizman she'odam mechabed esovi ve'esimoy. When a person respects his father and his mother, Omar Kadosh Baruch Hu, Malan Yalem Ki'ilu Dauti Beineim Bekibduni. Oh, explains the Maharsha. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, if a person respects his father and mother, what do you mean it's like Mechabed Hashem? Yes, means that Kadosh Baruch Hu says, Malan Yalem, consider them as if I lived amongst them at the Mechabed me. Which means, one point here is, when a person is Mechabed his parents, it's directly considered as Mechabed HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Of course, you can claim that's true about every mitzvah. When I take lulav and esrog, I'm Mechabed HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? Here it's more. Here, when you Mechabed HaKadosh Baruch Hu, your father and mother, you give your father a cup of water, you give your mother, you cover your mother with a blanket when she needs to. It's mamish as if you're doing it straight to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The level of kavod is more like, whoops, straight shooting up, straight to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when you do it to them. Question of the Maharsha is, why does it say kibduni beineihem? It says plural. It should really talk only about the son, right? You know what I'm asking? It says that if, let's say the son's name is, I don't know, Naphtali. Naphtali is mechabed his father and mother. Naphtali is a great guy. Always gives them to drink, always drives them around, always never drives them crazy. He just drives them with the car. He always puts a nice clothes on them, buys them clothes, very nice. So Naphtali is so good. He is mechabed, like as if he's mechabed Hashem. So what? But his father and mother, they're not mechabed anybody. They're the recipients of the kavod. So what does it say in plural? Kilu dati b'neihem. It's as if I lived amongst them. The kibduni, they respect me. Why they? It should say him. Answers the Maharsha, beautiful. We all know the Gemara because we always say it in the Sheva Brochas. It's one of these Gemaras always quoted in the Sheva Brochas speeches. It says, yeah, but ish ve'isha zachu shchina b'neihem lo zachu eish b'neihem. The words ish and isha, man and woman in Hebrew, both contain the letters aleph and shin, esh. The man has a yud, yeah, and an isha has a hey. If you take away the yud hey, yeah, we all know it from all the droshes of the Erusin, the chulei. Yud and hey HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A man and a woman, unless if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not in the picture, it's all fire of machloikas. It's all about egoism and me, and I deserve, and my needs are not met, and all the shtoyot. Yeah, it's all me, and it's fire machloikas. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in the picture, Yud and Hey, oh, it's all calm and all peaceful. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there. Oh, says the Maharsha, if the parents manage to be mechanech the children, they have shalom bayis. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there, and they were mechanech the child so nicely, now is mechabed them. That's the idea. In other words, if the son is mechanech, is mechabed the parents, it's a reflection on them. It shows that they are a good couple and they are good educators. All three of them. The son is mechabed them, that reflects on their good chinuch, and therefore now all three of them are partners and all three of them are mechabed Hashem, the parents too. Tanya, okay, and we'll see the other way around, that's later. Tanya, last line, if in Lamed Amud Beis. Tanya says in the Brisa. Yeah. Rabbi Yomer, Golu v'yadua lifnei mishemor v'oy olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who created the world. Golu v'yadua. It is very well known in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, sheben mechabed es ima yoiser me'oviv. Naturally, a son or a daughter, mechabed is more showing love, affection. Get a drink, I'll make you an iced coffee, I'll bring you a fresh drink, yeah. And naturally, the son, mechabed, in a more cuddling, kuchimuchi way, the mother more than the father. Naturally, unless we destroy humanity as we do today, naturally the mother is the softer one. She's mishadalto. She's the one who Rashi says she tempts him. In other words, she tells him, "No, come on, do this and that." She's not. She's soft. She convinces him to do things not in a harsh way. So Mimela, the son, naturally loves her more. Therefore, Hakadosh Baruch Hu is playing the opposite psychology and says, "Lefikach hikdim Hakadosh Baruch Hu kibud av lekibud aim." He says, "Kabed es ovicha v'esimecha." Hakadosh Baruch Hu always tells you to do what's harder for you. Hakadosh Baruch Hu says, "Be mechabed your father and your mother." Mechabed your mother, that's the easy part. The father is a toughie. The father is the one that the mother says, wait until father comes home from work. He'll put you to bed. He'll put you in your place, right? The father is the toughie. So it's harder to be mechabed the father and be cutesy to him and serve him the drink. That's what precisely the Torah always challenges us to do the other way around, to get out of our comfort zone and be mechabed the father at least as much as the mother. And the goal of Yadua, the other way around. Now the opposite story regarding Yira. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who created us, and He knows our psychology, our psyche better than anybody else. You know what Hashem knows? The son is scared of his father, has natural awe and reverence from the father more than the mother. God is at home, cooking, cleaning, telling stories. The father is more ominous kind of figure in his life. Wow. Because the father teaches him Torah, it's more of a fearful kind of thing. You learn Torah seriously. He wants results. The father teaches and he wants you to know. He's expecting more of you, and he's teaching you the Torah, which is all full of yira. Therefore, because naturally you fear the father more, and you may come to be too buddy with your mother. Your mother, you're not so scared of her. You may come to be, too comfortable with her. That's why Kodesh Baruch Hu again is playing a reverse psychology. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu's dafka, when it comes to Yira, it says, Ish imoy, the aviv tiro. You should fear your mother and your father. Make sure you fear your mother as much as you fear your father, even though it's harder. Tani Tani Kameda of Nachman. Oh, now is the opposite of now is the partnership the wrong way around. Tani Tani Kameda of Nachman. The Tana daughter of Nachman. Bizman she'odam mitzayir sovi v'simoy. When a person brings sorrow to his father and his mother, Omar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Yofa Sisi Shalodati Benem. I'm happy that I don't live amongst them. Shilmolidati Benem Tziaruni. If I lived in that house, it caused me tsar as well. He's Mitzar, his parents. I'm happy to be out of the picture. Which means, why did the son come out so bad, disrespectful towards his parents? Because they didn't teach him right. So Hashem says, I'm out of it. They're choosing their own foolish way of chinuch, which is against the Torah. They are taking me out of the picture, and here's the results. Now the children are not mechabed them because they follow some shittas in modern psychology, which are horrible, and I don't have time to stand in the soapbox again, but I'm saying you have to be very careful with all kinds of modern ideas of chinuch, like I heard in the radio, horrible things, like the worst of the chiloni shittas, and they have them in the Haredi world. It's noira. So basically, you have to really follow good old chinuch as much as you can, ask das Torah, and have a Kodesh Baruch Hu in the picture. Omar Bitzchak. Now says Rabbi Yitzchak, this is not about kibbud over aim, but that is to do also with the Yetzer Hara that we spoke about before. Kol over avera b'seiser, a person who's over an avera, a person who sins secretly, quietly, making sure he closes the doors all around and then he does the avera. Ki'ilu doechek ragli shchina. It's as if he pushes away. It's as if he he's staving off the feet of the Shechina. Well, obviously, Kodesh Baruch Hu has no feet. It means the presence of Hashem in this world. Shenemar, Koyamar Hashem, Hashemayim kisi va'oretz hadoim ragla. Isn't that Torah of Bereshit? Yeah. The Torah of Bereshis, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Hashemayim kis'i, the heaven is my throne, whatever that means, that's the higher place. The Haaretz Hadom Raglai, the footstool, yeah, is what is the land. In other words, just like a person's lower part of the body is on the floor, on the footstool, so too HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence in its lower form, not with the malachim with kisal kovod, is in this world. Now, when you're sinning, what do you show? You show, I'm a big tzaddik, I'm a good Haredi guy, but inside, in secret, he sins. What does it mean? He has no fear of Hashem. He's declaring, I only fear society, so my kids should have good shidduchim, and people think I'm a nice guy and a good from guy. When he closes the door, takes out the chazir, start eating the chazir and watching the princess movie in the internet. I don't know what he does. Mechalel Shabbos secretly, smoking secretly. So those things, what do they show? You're showing as if Hashem is no presence in the world, right? You say, I basically don't give a care, excuse my language, about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're pushing away Hashem's presence, showing, as far as I'm concerned, Hashem is not present. This guy surely doesn't really believe in Hashem. Chazon Ish says, every Avera, in its root, has some kind of heresy, of kfira. So really, and that's Baseser. If you do it publicly and secretly, it's time you don't care. The guy needs psychological help. But if you're so careful on the outside and he's so uncareful on the inside, the only one you care about is mamish, only society, and not the Kodesh Baruch Hu, that accentuates it even more, right? The contrast. And therefore, you kill push Hashem away. You say to Hashem, you go up to Shamayim, I don't care about you. Or maybe doesn't believe it exists. And Rosh Chodesh, not Bereshis. Thank you. Rosh Chodesh coming soon, yeah, but not Shabbos. Thank you. Shlomo knows it. Omar B'Shem Levi. Omar B'Shem Levi in a similar vein. By the way, this is Prat Chilul Hashem. I heard B'Shem the Koznitzer Rebbe, and I think before him, Chilul Hashem, when a person sins, it creates a halal in Hashem. The entire world is local art kavoida. Hashem feels each and every molecule. Hashem is everywhere, is everything. You know, it's halal. What's halal? Halal is many, what? Cavity, very good. Space, cavity, like halal chitzon. You know in Hebrew, how do you say outer space? Halal, yeah? So you create a cavity in Hashem. I'm sinning, I'm creating kivyochol, a cavity in Hashem's presence. That's what's going on here. It's a terrible thing. Amar B'Shua ben Levi, now on a finer point, also le'odem shehalach arba amos b'koi mazkufa. A person is not allowed to walk, yeah, with his head upright in an arrogant way. Nobody says you have to look like a neb, but you're not supposed. It's Kitzur Shulchan Aruch brings it down, even Kitzur, and before him, of course. Yeah, don't walk like that. You know, some people, they walk down the street and you think like they own the world. You know, these people, they walk and they don't look at anybody around them. You say hello to them, they don't see you because they're the king of the world. They're the king of the world. They walk as if, you know, like I saw people like that in North Tel Aviv. You see that quite a lot. Not everyone, some of them, yeah. Like they own the universe, Berach. They're Mr. This. So the Komis Kufa, they walk Daled Amos like that. Shenemar Meloy Chol Oretz Kevoidoi. Yeah, in other words, when you walk like that, you are kivyochol, say the Rishonim, kivyochol competition with Hashem. Hashem's glory fills the world. And you are saying, no. What's Daled Ames? Domain. These Daled Ames are mine. If it's less than Daled Ames, Mele. Entire Daled Ames, which is only 2 meters, you walk, I have an entire domain where I'm the owner. Yeah, my life, my rules, my. Of course, this person would have lousy marriage. This person would have lousy chinuch because it's all about me. And who told him that? The Western world today is all about that. Ego, glorification, it's me, my needs, my desires, me. That's why half the people are divorced and half the people are depressed and half the people are unhappy. Because why? It's all about me and me. Where's the Kodesh Baruch Hu? I don't know. That's where all the problems begin. Weiter. And continues the Gemara, Rav Huna story, which is really halacha lemaaseh. How would you know that people are supposed to walk around with a look what I have in my hand? Yeah, Rav Huna Breder Rav Yoshua loy maski arba amos begilu haroish. That's the reason. Rav Huna Breder Rav Yoshua would not walk daled amos begilu harosh with his head uncovered. Why? Omar, he says shchina lamala meroishi. Because the Shekhinah is above my head, the kippah, the yarmulka, the whatever you want to call it, yeah, shows there's somebody is above me. I'm not the master of the world. I'm not, the best thing that ever happened to humanity. I am what? Under HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the kippah on the head shows that. And here's the source. Daled Ames, even indoors, one should not walk Daled Ames We're Heterim, people say in the past, because of anti-Semitism, some people would walk without a kippah, maybe some places today. Fine, that's a different story. But the Chatchila, a person should wear a kippah, and here's the source. Here's the source in the Gemara, brought down in Shulchan Aruch. People say it's not halacha to wear a kippah. It's not true. I'm saying it's not, sometimes you don't have to because of this and that, but generally speaking, here's the source, and it's brought down in halacha. It's not a recommendation. I know in England there are people who used not to. I'm aware of that. That is because otherwise you wouldn't get a job, and you would. I know about all these stories. I've lived in Tutzat long enough. I'm telling you, lechatchila, yes, there is a mitzvah to wear a kippah all the time. It's not an invention of the Haredi world of 2020. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Fine. Okay, Daladamis doesn't get you very far. From my bed to my door is already Daladamis more. So I'm saying, yeah, if you really feel like not wearing a kippah makes you feel good, do that for less than 2 meters, okay? But okay, yes. What? You see, and by the way, yeah, I don't know. I hear when did it start? I hear what you're saying. I don't know when it started, maybe. By the way, this is the third time we see kippah or some kind of head cover in our Masechta. In Daf Ches, it says Rav Kahana cared a lot about covering his hair. It was an Adam Choshev. And in the previous Daf, we saw also, right, that the man who rushed to Cheder to take his son wore only a kippah, not an extra cover, because there was too much in a rush. Otherwise, we see that there was always in Klal Yisrael, at least from the Gemara onwards, that one was an Amora. It's true. It's an Amoraim. Yeah, Rav Kahana was an Amora. The Amoraim. Looks like Amoraim were very particular about that. I don't think they invented it. It was probably an older tradition. I don't know about the history of kippah, but in the Gemara we see time and again that it is very important to cover your head, at least with one cover, if not with two. Okay? I'm saying some people get this wrong. That is not some kind of social norm and like new invention. That's all I'm saying. I'm not coming to say anything else. A little bit. So very nice. So you said something very nice, yeah. Now I want to just tweak it a little bit. Over here we see that the basic cover, the basic head cover, which is usually a kippah or something of the like, is stop because here is Shemaim. In the previous Gemaras, when we spoke about the extra cover, the one on top of the kippah, which is a sudar, mentioned twice, that was mentioned regarding important people and or married people. And that is more an idea of kavod, of respect, of showing self-respect, wearing an extra layer like today's hats that shows that you're a respectful person representing a Kadosh Baruch Hu, you're Talmid Chacham, you're married, you're somebody of a higher level. Therefore, on top of the small kippah, you have another cover to show. That's also in davening. There's another Indian in davening to wear a hat because there's ituf. Ituf, while you daven in front of Hashem, you have to be me'utaf, which means almost fully covered. Your hair should be, the majority of your head should be covered. It's called ituf. That's also in davening, but that's besides the point. Weiter. Okay, now back to Kibbud Avayim. I told you how Kibbud Avayim continues. Here it is. Sho'al ben Almono Achas Esrabelezer. A son of an Almono asked Rabbi Eliezer. Yeah, this is Tanoim. This is a Brisa. A son of Almono obviously means that his father died. Yeah, we know that. He has a single mother and he wants to know about Kibbud Avayim. And he asked a question which for him was theoretical. Abba Omer Ashkeini Maim. If my father tells me, give me water, yeah, serve me water to drink, make me drink water. The Ima Omer Ashkeini Maim. And my mother asks me, give me water. Ezamehem koidem. That's a heck of a question, yeah? That's a good question. Both sides of the table. Daddy says, can I have a cup of water? Mommy says, more or less the same time. Can I have a cup of water? Like you have two hands. Okay. And you're saying one in, let's say there are two different rooms though. Omer lei, so he answered, Hanach kvoid imcha. Yeah, leave your mother as covered alone for the minute. V'aseh kvoid avicha. Serve your father first before your mother. Why? You and your mother are both mechuyev in the covet of the father. What does that mean and why? The Gemara says at the end of Krisus, the last page of Krisus about that. As we know, a man has to respect his wife and a wife has to respect her husband. However, the respect is shown in different ways. The way that a wife is supposed to halachically show respect to her husband is by serving him food, is by, making his bed, is by, washing his hands and feet. I don't know today the word your feet, whatever. To give him those creatures comforts, those service, to be servile for a woman to the man, that is her mitzvah as a married woman. not a mitzvah from the Torah, it's Takonas Chazal. It's a Mishnah in Ksubas Daf Nun Zayin Chestes, around there, and the whole Gemara there. Even if she has 100 mishorsa, she has 100 servants, she still has to do the personal things to serve him the food. We men like to be served, and the Torah knew that. Oh, therefore, practically speaking, if she's supposed to serve him water, midorabonon, and you're supposed to serve him water dorais, at the end of the day, both mother and son are supposed to serve the father. So serve your father first, and then give your mother. That is what the psak is, and that's halacha as far as I know. I haven't yet seen the halachas. I'm going to see the halachas tomorrow, hopefully. Balifnei Rabbi Yoshua. The same orphan came in front of Rabbi Yoshua after he got the answer from Rabbi Eliezer. Omar loy, kach Omar loy, Rabbi. Okay, and he told him, this is what Rabbi told me, but now I have a new question. In other words, the father is before the mother, because the father gets served first. Nisgar shomahu. What would be if my parents are divorced? Then she's not mechuyev to serve him anymore. And then what do I do technically speaking? Right? In other words, at least when they're married, I have a clear picture. Father, mother, and me. When it comes to divorce, then she's not going to serve him any food. They're divorced, nothing to do with each other. They're not even supposed to live in the same building or in the same street. Some say nothing to do. And therefore, this garsha, father here, mother there, who do I serve first? They live in two different houses. Which one should I go to first with a bottle of water? Omar lay. So now Reb Shua answered him very wittingly. From your eyelashes, I'm looking at your eyelashes, and I can tell Nikal sheben almono ato. I can tell you're a ben almono. I can tell that your mother is a widow. You're a yosem. What does that mean? Two explanations. Rashi says, I can see you cried a lot. I can see your eyes are full of tears. Misken, you're a yosem. You're an orphan, and therefore I can tell that your question is theoretical. And therefore, I'll ask you, you just want to get smarter with me. You want to ask a theoretical question. Therefore, the answer will also be, as we're going to see soon, the answer will also be in a theoretical level. Now, the other pshat of the Tosfos Zoken, he says, I can tell that you're very wise men. Because Dafka people are orphans, they have to fend for themselves. They have to open their own businesses. They have to start becoming strong. And therefore, they become more witty, become more street smart. So I can tell you're a smart man, so I'll give you a smart answer. What's a smart answer? Give them, pour some water for both of them in a cup, in a big cup, and tell them to come and like make the sound in your mouth, like make a sound in your mouth, just like when people feed the chicken, the roosters, they say, make some kind of noise, so all the chicken should come. You should also go ta 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 ta, so mother and father should come. Oh, that sounds very disrespectful. That's what the Rishonim say. Obviously, he did not mean they should tell them, hey, chicken, come over here. You don't talk like that to your parents. He said, obviously means to say nobody takes preference. The real answer means father and mother, nobody takes preference. Put it at the table if they're both nearby, and both should drink together. Tell them both should come over here. However, because you asked the question in a theoretical level, I'll also answer you in a witty, funny way, which is theoretical. Come and call them like Tornegoilim, even though that's not obviously what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to say that there is no preference one over the other. That's what it means. Yeah. Once they're divorced, try and accommodate to both of them together as much as you can. Father, mother, nobody takes precedent over the other because she has no obligation towards him anymore. Ula the Great, yeah, he made a drosha. He taught the lesson, yeah, by the door of the Beit Nesiah, of the house of the Nosi, of the king of the exilarch. My dechtiv, what is no, not exilarch, the Nosi of Israel, like Rebbe, the Nosi. My dechtiv, what does it mean when it says Yoducha Hashem kol malche eretz kishamu imrei ficha? Hashem, all the malche eretz, all the kings of the universe will admit to you, will agree with you, will realize you're right. Kishamu imrei picha. Once they heard the imrei, the teachings of your mouth, yeah, they'll hear the utterances, what you teach from your mouth twice and not once. Maimer picha lo ne'emar. Doesn't say one maimer, el imrei picha. In other words, it sounds like there's some kind of statement Hashem made which doesn't make sense to go in. Once Hashem made the second statement, then they agree. What is that imrei picha? The Shashomar Kodesh Baruch Hu Anoichi v'lo yelecho. When Kodesh Baruch Hu started giving the Torah, and all the nations of the world heard, so to speak, the echo, the vibration of our Sinai. I am Hashem. The people of the world said, the nations of the world said, it's very difficult for us to say. They're basically saying, because Baruch Hu demands his own glory, his own covet. They would say, Hashem is a chas v'shalom and an ego trip. He wants his own covet. We have our own gods, and he wants his covet. Who said, when they got to the fifth commandment of Kibud over aim, they saw that Kodesh Baruch Hu is not being, so to speak, selfish. We see that Hashem cares about family life, about the father and the mother. Then they admitted and they realized, wow, he has no self-interest over here. He cares about society in general, about the family nucleus, and therefore must be the entire Torah is true. I want to say something here also. It's very interesting because the totalitarian governments, they would not like family life. Or today's Western world, they idolize the workplace. People like their co-workers more than the family, and they spend more time in parties and weekends with at the workplace, and they try to do it on purpose to destroy the family nucleus, the family life, because they don't want mommy, daddy, and son. They're not happy with that. They want to control the people on top. You should be my worker, not the worker of your wife or your husband or whatever. And this is against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Kodesh Baruch Hu is not Hashem versus the family. It's Hashem with the family. Rove Omar Mihocho. Rove says from the following, Rosh Dvorcho Emes. It says Rosh Dvorcho Emes. The beginning of your word is true. What does it mean? Rosh Dvorcho Velosav Dvorcho. Only the beginning of Torah is true and the rest is not true. Ela must be Misoif Dvorcho Nikar. From the end of the dovo, meaning if you look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from the top of the right luach in luchos sabris all the way to the bottom, when you get to the bottom of the page to kibud over aim, then you realize, now I realize Anochi Hashem Elokecha wasn't a selfish thing, it was an inclusive, comprehensive thing. Bo minei, time. Tomorrow we're going to start Be'ezos Hashem for the words Bo Minei, towards the end of the narrow lines, and tomorrow will be the story of Dama ben Netina. That story you all heard in the kindergarten about Dama ben Netina, the goy who didn't wake up he did not want to wake up his father, right? And he lost a lot of money for that. That is the precious stone under his pillow. Beautiful, very good. Very good. You know it all. Okay, but still do come tomorrow. Even though you know the stories, come tomorrow, get more insight into the story and to many, many other halachas and stories. Atzlocho brocha. Thank you very much. Have a great week. Thank you to everybody here in Ahavas Shalom who came. Thank you to those who watch us on Zoom. Thank you to the Torah Anytime viewers and to those on our YouTube channel. Atzlocho brocha. May we be zoiche, be mechabed of aim to respect and be respected. Thank you. Atzlocho.